From the News Channel 8 studios, this is Washington Business Tonight with Rebecca Cooper.
And coming up, taking control of your finances, our next guest explains why now is the time to potentially take on a franchise. Stay with us. Washington Business Tonight continues. With the economy the way it stands now, is it the right time to even consider setting up a franchise? One successful business leader says yes. Greg Jones is the CEO of McLean-based BookKeeping Express and the owner of Five Guys franchises in Florida. He's with us to explain tonight why franchises are the way to go for those who are trying to find a career transition. Mr. Jones, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. How are you?
So you were in the telecom business, you were in the real estate business, and then you and your partners looked around at the landscape and said, this is not the way that we want to grow. We're going to buy a franchise. And you picked Five Guys and went to Florida.
We did, and we were actually forced into that situation due to the real estate economy here in the Washington, D.C. metro just got overpriced, so it was tough to make the numbers work.
This was in the 80s, the 90s?
Well, this was in the
late 90s.
Early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, so we ran out of steam in that regard. So we're looking for another business opportunity, and franchising really fit the mold for us, and it made a lot of sense. So then you find a product that you're passionate about and that you enjoy. And we found a concept called Five Guys, burgers and fries.
Now, even those of us like me who love Five Guys and especially love the fries, I've been a little surprised by the fact that they have grown so big. You said you weren't surprised, and in fact, when you looked around at buying a franchise here, the market was already saturated.
Yeah, we were very late to the party for this market, and we're actually forced to look elsewhere. So the closest, we actually found a very good operator for our organization down in Florida. So we were one of the first in-state down in Florida. And a lot of people ask us, aren't you concerned about being a first? When you have a great product, the concern really goes away because you know everybody's going to enjoy a good burger.
Even in Bikini Land, they'll buy their burgers.
Absolutely.
So let's get to the real day job now, because you purchased and some partners purchased the BookKeeping Express business back in what year?
The end of 2007, we moved it. The company started in 1984 out in Southern California. Long story short, we bought the company, brought it to McLean, fourth quarter of 2007. Started the new organization January 2008.
And it's interesting, you're now nationwide, and the company is something that you said you really understood the need for because you had a franchise yourself, and what BookKeeping Express does is help small, medium-sized businesses hire a bookkeeping service.
That's exactly right. I mean, most small business owners, unfortunately, are not very good accountants, and they have 10, 15 other things on their plate.
And don't want to be.
And don't want to be, exactly. So it's a great opportunity. I've been there. I've sat in that chair as a small business owner, not knowing where to turn. There's not an H&R Block for small businesses to go to for outsourcing.
A friend of mine who's a doctor, doctors are businessmen. That's exactly what he's looking for. He lost a lot of his income by having the wrong person taking care of the books.
Exactly right. And there's a few major points is that the small business community is the largest business community in the United States, with over 29 million, with 5 million less in annual revenue. And it's a must-do service. It doesn't go away.
Well, so let's get to your advice to current people with an opportunity to buy businesses. You say don't be afraid of this rocky road to recovery. There are some benefits to buying now. What do you see?
There are benefits if you have the skin to the thick skin to go through with it. A lot of people think that's a good way to go. Most will not pull the trigger on that, but if they do, they have that positive attitude, I'll say.
And you also say this is a time that you could actually buy property cheap and save on setting it up.
That's exactly right. Real estate, vendor relations, landlord relations, they're all at the bottom right now. So it's a great time if you wish to get in at the bottom, which I'm a big proponent of buy low, sell high, right? So now's a great time.
You even listed shipping as one of the expenses they have to take into account when they're setting up a new business, and you said right now, even that is...
Even that's an opportunity. And if you have ever been looking at an opportunity to own your own business, now's a great time to do it. Especially with franchising, because you have a proven model, you have a whole organization behind you to do it. There's no better way, and statistically, franchising is proven to be the way to go versus trying to do it solo or on your own.
Even if you have to sell something besides the world's greatest French fries.
Yes, ma'am.
Greg Jones, the head of BookKeeping Express and a Five Guys franchise owner. Thanks for joining us. Now let's get a check of the hour's top stories with Philip Stewart, who's standing by.